For over a century, a mysterious patch of the Atlantic Ocean has captured our imagination and fueled our fears. It's a place where ships vanish without a trace and planes disappear from the sky, seemingly into thin air. Welcome to the Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle. Stretching between Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico, this infamous region has become synonymous with unexplained disappearances. But what is really going on? Is it a paranormal vortex, an alien abduction hotspot, or is there a more down-to-earth explanation? Let's dive deep into one of the world's most enduring mysteries. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle truly took off in the mid-20th century. It all started with an article by journalist Vincent Gaddis in 1964, who coined the term Bermuda Triangle and listed a series of strange disappearances in the area. But the most famous case, the one that cemented the triangle's terrifying reputation, happened nearly 2 decades earlier. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers known as Flight 19 took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for a routine training mission. The flight consisted of 14 experienced airmen. A few hours into their flight, the leader, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, radioed in, sounding confused. He reported that both of his compasses were malfunctioning and he couldn't determine his position. He thought they were over the Florida Keys, but nobody could be sure. The control tower tried to guide them back, but the radio transmissions became increasingly faint and garbled. The last thing they heard from Flight 19 was a jumble of voices, with one pilot seemingly suggesting they should all ditch their planes together when the first one ran out of fuel. Then silence. They were gone. In a tragic twist, a Martin Mariner seaplane sent out with a 13-man crew to search for them also vanished. It was later reported that a ship in the area saw a massive explosion in the sky around the time the search plane would have been in the vicinity. In total, 6 aircraft and 27 men disappeared in a single day. No wreckage, no bodies, no oil slicks were ever found. It was as if they had been plucked from the sky. This single incident became the cornerstone of the Bermuda Triangle legend. After Flight 19, the stories started piling up. There was the USS Cyclops, a massive Navy cargo ship that vanished in 1918 with over 300 people on board. It was carrying a heavy load of manganese ore and disappeared somewhere after leaving Barbados. No distress call was ever sent. Then there was the Star Tiger and the Star Ariel, 2 British passenger planes that disappeared in 1948 and 1949, respectively. Again, perfect weather, experienced crews, and then just nothing. One moment they were radioing in normally, the next, they were gone from the face of the earth. These stories and dozens more were collected in books like Charles Berlitz's 1974 bestseller, The Bermuda Triangle, which sold millions of copies and turned the mystery into a global phenomenon. Berlitz and other paranormal enthusiasts proposed some truly wild theories. Some suggested that the Bermuda Triangle was a gateway to another dimension, a time portal that sucked in unsuspecting travelers. Others believed that remnants of the lost city of Atlantis lay on the seabed, using advanced crystal energy technology that interfered with modern instruments, causing ships and planes to malfunction and disappear. And of course, there's the ever-popular alien theory. Could UFOs be patrolling the triangle, abducting humans and their vehicles for study? These ideas are exciting, and they make for great movies and books, but do they hold any water when examined under the cold, hard light of science? Let's explore the more rational explanations. One of the most prominent scientific theories involves the unique and often violent weather patterns in the region. The Bermuda Triangle is located in an area known for hurricanes and tropical storms that can form with terrifying speed. A small storm can quickly escalate into a monstrous tempest, capable of swallowing a ship whole or tearing a plane apart. Imagine a ship caught in a sudden hurricane with waves over 50 feet high. It wouldn't stand a chance. These storms can also create waterspouts, which are essentially tornadoes on water, powerful enough to destroy small vessels and aircraft. So, it's very likely that many of the recorded disappearances were simply victims of Mother Nature's immense power, happening so quickly that no distress call could be sent. Another fascinating theory points to the region's complex geology. The ocean floor in the Bermuda Triangle is not flat. It has some of the deepest trenches in the world, like the Puerto Rico Trench, which is over 27,000 feet deep. If a ship or plane were to sink there, finding the wreckage would be nearly impossible, even with today's advanced technology. It would be lost forever in the crushing depths. Furthermore, some scientists have proposed the idea of methane hydrates. This is basically frozen methane gas trapped under the seabed. If a geological shift or a rise in water temperature were to cause a massive release of this gas, it could create a huge frothy plume of bubbles on the ocean surface. This would drastically reduce the density of the water, and any ship passing over it would lose its buoyancy and sink in seconds straight to the bottom. This sudden, catastrophic event would leave no time for an SOS. And what about the compass problems reported by pilots like Lieutenant Taylor, Flight 19? Well, there's a scientific explanation for that too. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the few places on Earth where true north and magnetic north align. Usually, there's a slight difference between the two, which pilots and sailors have to account for in their navigation. In the triangle, this alignment can cause confusion for those who aren't aware of it. While this wouldn't typically cause a modern GPS-equipped vessel to get lost, back in the 1940s when navigators relied solely on compasses, it could certainly lead them far off course and into danger, especially if combined with bad weather. So, a simple navigational error could be the root cause of some of the most famous disappearances. Now let's get to the biggest mythbuster of all, human error. As much as we love a good mystery, the simplest explanation is often the right one. Let's go back to Flight 19. The official Navy report initially blamed pilot error on the part of Lieutenant Taylor. While his family protested and had it changed to causes unknown, later analysis of the radio transmissions suggests Taylor, who was new to the area, may have become disoriented. He mistakenly thought he was over the Florida Keys when he was actually east of the Bahamas, and he inadvertently led his squadron further out into the open ocean, where they eventually ran out of fuel and crashed. The search plane that followed, the Martin Mariner, had a known nickname, the Flying Gas Tank. It was notorious for having fuel vapor leaks, and a single spark from the engine or a crew member lighting a cigarette could have caused the massive mid-air explosion that was reported. So, when we look closer, many of the unexplained disappearances have very plausible explanations. But here's the real kicker. Is the Bermuda Triangle actually more dangerous than any other part of the ocean? According to the US Coast Guard and other maritime experts, the answer is a resounding no. They don't even officially recognize the Bermuda Triangle as a specific hazard. In fact, when you look at the sheer volume of traffic, countless ships, private yachts and commercial airliners that cross the region every single day without incident, the number of disappearances is not statistically significant. Many of the stories have also been exaggerated or embellished over the years. Investigations by journalists like Larry Kush revealed that many so-called mysterious disappearances either never happened, occurred far outside the triangle, or had perfectly logical explanations that were conveniently ignored by authors like Berlitz. For example, some ships reported to have vanished in calm weather actually sank during documented ferocious storms. In the end, the Bermuda Triangle is less of a paranormal hotspot and more of a perfect storm of factors. It's a busy traffic area with treacherous weather, complex ocean currents, deep trenches, and the potential for navigational confusion. Combine this with a few genuinely tragic and unsolved cases, a healthy dose of human error, and a lot of sensationalism from authors and the media, and you have the recipe for an enduring modern myth. The idea of a mysterious force that swallows ships and planes is far more exciting than the mundane reality of bad weather and equipment failure. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle is a testament to our love of a good story, our fascination with the unknown, and our desire to find mystery in a world that is becoming more and more explained. So, while you probably don't need to worry about being abducted by aliens on your next Caribbean cruise, the legend of the Devil's Triangle will likely continue to capture our imaginations for years to come. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the heart of the mystery. What do you think is the real cause behind the disappearances? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. And don't forget to purchase our digital magazines. See you next time.
Digital magazine Wonders of Nature. Fascinating articles. Stunning photographs. Delivered in PDF format. Get them in the links of our channels. Purchasing digital magazines is a good way to stay informed.